Hello, welcome back to another Alpha X Pro Replay cast. This is, of course, from Home Story Cup. Let's go ahead and introduce our first player here, spawning at the bottom left. Hailing from Korea and playing for Afrika Freaks. He is the blue Protoss. He is Stats.
And spawning in the top right, recently joined Team NV, it's the popular and well-known Ro32. Ro32, of course, a returning player from the military, defied a lot of expectations and managed to get quite good results recently. I think he finished top 4 in a GSL season last year, actually, so that's quite nice having come back from the military.
Yeah, actually he finished like top 4 twice in 2 GSL seasons, so that's a pretty nice results coming back from the army. Of course, I think the other one that has had some really nice success from the army is Beyond, and but it's always great to see some old school players like still duking it out and still competing.
Yeah, for sure. I heard that Su is actually inspired by Ro32 and will try and make a comeback following his military service as well.
Oh man, I can't wait. Back then, Su was personally my favorite player. Even though I play Protoss, like I find my favorite players has been Zerg for some reason. So you know, it's been Su for a while, and when he went off to the military, I was a little bit sad, but I can't wait for him to come back and start competing again.
For sure. So Ro32 taking his second base at the location of a third. Stats have sent out the pro after putting down Pylon, and it was very annoying. Blocked Ro32 from putting a natural at a more convenient location.
Yeah, now what do you make of this, that he actually chose the third, or I guess the natural, to be at this location? Because usually sometimes Zerg players will build their bases horizontally, near the 11 o'clock base instead. But this time around, he's actually taking the one that's a bit closer to Stats base.
I usually don't like taking the natural offers in this location, just because, if Terran or Protoss, they do drop plays, it's really annoying. They can drop from the main and then into this location really easily, and then you have to scramble back and forth trying to defend stuff. So I don't like it, but let's see. How about you, Snoopy?
I think sometimes it could either be because the Zerg player wants to go for some type of aggression, because if that base is closer to your opponent's base, you can kind of rally it a bit quicker, right? And so
yeah, they also want to spread creep like a bit more aggressively,
Oh yeah,
right now, like the creep is almost close to the middle of the map. I think just one more creep tumor and it'll be out into the middle portion of the map. So Stats opening Stargate. Of course, it's a popular opening these days. Also opening with a Void Ray. That's a popular choice in this matchup as well recently.
Yeah, sometimes you see the Protoss open up with Orgo and then Void Ray, and then sometimes you see them open up with Void Ray and then Orgo. So I guess it's a matter of preference.
Yeah, Void Ray is of course good at clearing overlords as well. So you can see the Void Rays is moving around. He's probably looking for overlords, but also trying to be providing some defensive option, as this is a very quick third from Stats before 4 minutes.
Yeah. It should be safe. I mean, he's got the 2 adepts, and now he can kind of roam free with that Void Ray, clearing out all these overlords here. That's going to be nice and juicy.
Yep.
Actually, the Stats going to follow this up with a Glaive Adept timing here.
Yeah, this is quite an old school build, actually. I think I used to see Neat do this a lot, Stargate into Adept Glaives.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of like it, because like these bases are actually pretty spread far apart, so these adepts can actually shade and run around quite well.
That's what I mean. It's not just drop plays that's really annoying if you take that kind of location for your third or natural, Yep. So Ro32 just putting down his roach warren a bit later than usual, just because, of course, he spotted a Stargate opening. Let's see whether he has roaches in time for all the adept that are coming his way. Of course, he sees it now with his Zerglings that were parked in front of Stat's Natural, having had to deal with some of them already.
Actually, that's pretty huge for him to pick off some of those lings there. That means less units to defend against these adepts.
Yep.
He does have a lot of queens.
Yep. So that's shooting into the natural. Let's see whether he commits. No, he doesn't.
Alright, so far, nice defense here by DRG, connecting creep between the second and the third, making it a bit easier for him to defend. But will Stats let that shade in? And he does. And these lings are gonna actually get this around.
Yep. Ling Roach is actually quite a good combination for adept defense, just because the Ling can surround the pesky adepts, and then the Roaches can just get on top of them. Especially after they just completed the shade. So good defense by DRG so far.
Yeah, that's gonna set the Protoss back. It's gonna force Stats to start making these cannons and shield batteries. Now the good thing is that he did force DRG to make a lot of these units. So if he can defend, then without any major losses, he can make it worth it. But that is a lot of Queens and Ravagers and Lings.
Yep. Let's see whether the Shield of Ire can hold.
Alright, Corrosive Bow is gonna go ahead and take down one of the shield batteries here, but there is still one here at the back. Actually, more shield batteries on the way, but this third is as naked as can be. So
for AoE, this is actually quite difficult. I think some Protosses actually they do get earlier AoE, either Disruptors or Storm, to deal with such early pushes, because otherwise the Zerg swarms you with just so many units, and it's very hard for you to defend both your natural and your third with shield batteries and cannons, because if you put shield batteries and cannons at your third, for example, then the Zerg will just come and attack your natural, which is exactly what DRG is doing right now.
Yeah, these force here are just not effective with these Ravagers Corrosive Bows.
Yep. At least he has one cannon, near his gas and his natural, helping out a little bit. But I think he's beginning to hold, Snoopy.
Oh, it's pretty close. There's not a lot of Queens left, so there's no transfuse, and all that's left over are those Ravagers. There's no buffer for these. So yeah, I think Stats might have hold.
And of course, whenever you hold off such an all-in and take minimal damage, and especially if you keep your third, you're in a fantastic position.
Yeah, and that fourth of the Zerg is pretty late too.
Yep.
Alright, 4 Immortals, I think should do it. Oh, I actually got the Blink upgrade as well. Nice.
Yep. Blink is also always fairly handy whenever you fear a mute follow-up.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the units lost tab. A lot more gases lost for the Protoss. Of course, his units and army was more heavy gas-based. So yeah, not too shabby, but Stats does
Let's see Stats Calculator with 4 Immortal Blink Stalkers and a Sentry, and of course, the ever-important Warp Prism.
Alright, Stats gonna have to make this worth it, as that third base of his has been pretty much ravaged.
And he hasn't been probing up, so this is all in from Stats. He has to, it's do or die for him here.
Alright, getting a little nice concave by DRG. Where's the Warp Prism? He's gonna need to save these Immortals. One Immortal does go down. He does save the other one. But more reinforcement needs to be warped in here. Drones being pooled, and this is the last.
Never a good sign when you see that.
Huh?
Never a good sign when you see drones being pooled.
Oh yeah, but if he can hold this, I mean, he is way ahead in the workers. I mean, that might be worth it. Yeah, very minimal drone losses here.
Yep, Stats being pushed back right now. Only has 1 Immortal left in his Warp Prism. GG is called. DRG takes the first game.
All right, welcome back here to game number 2 of this best of 3 group stage match. Here spawning at the bottom left is the blue Protoss playing for Afrika Freaks, wanting to tie up the series. It is Stats.
And spawning in the bottom right again, it's the Zerg from Team Envy, Dongre-gu.
All right, a nice little hold there by Dongre-gu in the last match, but that was on the map of Jagannatha. Here, this game number 2 will take place on Oxide, which is a completely different map, I would say, compared to Jagannatha. A lot wider. And, interestingly enough, DRG going for that same dirt, I guess, natural base as the last game.
I don't know whether he noticed, but he didn't even bother trying to take his natural at the usual location. He went straight to this forward base, just because I think he knows Stats is definitely going to do pylon scout and block his natural.
Yeah, I think a lot of Protosses has been adopting this, sent this probe out early to block the natural base of the Zerg.
I think it's quite good, because you cause a lot of lost mining time,
Yeah.
The drones the main
it's
further this location.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly like who it will favor, because you send the you do block the hatchery, so the mining or the rally of the drones are longer, but on the other side you send out that probe early on, so that probe, which could have been mining this whole time, actually loses some mining for the Protoss himself. So it's hard to say.
Of course, if you are an annoying probe and you also keep doing mineral blocks in your opponent's main, that can definitely make up for it. He says Stats being really pesky here with his probe.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So let's see. Last game, Stats went for that Stargate opening. We'll see if he goes for that Stargate opening once again. I would have to say that it kind of looked pretty good in the beginning for Stats, but
maybe he didn't have to push, in the first game. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
He did his third after all, although he wasn't very high in worker count. So I'm not sure whether he had to do a big push that he did.
Yeah, I wonder, like, if he did save those adepts, like, would they have turned into a different game? That counterattack would have definitely been easier to hold, I would say.
Yeah, that shade wasn't great. He definitely lost a lot of adepts there. So once again, going for a Stargate opener here. Let's see whether he goes Void Ray or Oracle first. It's going to be Void Ray. I think if you see an Overlord hovering around your natural, it's very tempting to get a Void Ray just so you can clear that pesky spy. Otherwise you'll just get full vision of your base.
Yeah, this Overlord.
Dongre was happy knowing that Stargate opening is the tech of choice for Stats. You don't need to go for very early Roach Warren that you would have to go for if Protoss opens with Twilight Council and goes for an Adept Glaives opening.
Alright, so far a different kind of build order here. Following up with the Oracle. Last game he did not follow up with the Oracle, as he did follow up with the Glaive Adept timing. This time around, going to change it up just a bit.
He also put down a second Stargate. Again, this is quite common in the meta these days. Double Stargate Void Ray builds.
Now, because the Overlords were sniped, there's not going to be a lot of vision here for DRG. So he's going to be in the blind for quite some time. And of course, that kind of means that there's a possible chance that DRG does start making those blind Spore Crawlers, just to make sure he doesn't die to things like all these Void Rays coming in. Oracle will go ahead and dive on in here. Doesn't get quite much.
Nice save on the second drone.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Spore Crawler really quickly. It's not able to manage to get a second drone either. At Stats third base. So you can see why Dongre-gu actually really likes taking his natural where he did. Because creep is quite quite far out right now. It's even beyond. It's fairly close to stats third. Actually, I think with a couple more Pumas, it will actually encroach stats base, and that makes you wonder whether Dong Regu is preparing for a Queen Ling Roach push as he did in the first game, just because it's a lot easier with creep connecting your base to your opponents, of course.
Yeah, I mean, especially since Stats is going for the Void Ray, so these queens can actually march right through in the middle and be knocking on Stats base. And actually, the Void Rays are a little bit out of position, gonna be harassing the natural here, while the Dirt of Stats is under duress.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward situation here. Dong Regu pulling his queens back to deal with the Void Rays. Otherwise, they'll probably kill everything, Meanwhile, sending his Ling Roaches and Ravagers to Stats third, looking to take it down.
Oh man, this queen's gonna take down the Void Ray. And this Dirt base, I just don't see it holding, as these Lings are streaming across the map. And now, I think the queens can... a last minute recall just it's not successful there.
Yep. Well, there's always a danger when you send your Void Rays out all the way to your opponent's base. Don't have them in time to defend against an all-in. Definitely makes for an awkward situation.
Yeah, now Stats is in the back foot. I mean, he is down to 2 base. Gotta remake that Dirt. These queens are still alive, just building up their energy for another big attack.
Yep, Dong Regu sitting pretty with 66 drones, even though he's only on 3 bases. Taking his 4th to the right of his 3rd.
Yeah, I actually like this decision to take the 4th there, just because these Void Rays are kind of on the left side, so it would have been hard for him to dance around his queens back and forth.
Yep. So Dong Regu going for a Spire behind this. This is quite interesting. I think I'm not sure about that, to be honest, because if you know that your opponent has double Stargate and they can pump out Phoenix pretty fast, I don't know whether Void Ray Spire is actually a good choice. But I guess if you still go a big flock of mutas and the pros is caught off guard, you can still do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, look there. As you said it, 9 Mutalists in the production tab. Now, this is not going to be all in the Mutalist tech. He is following up with a Hydralisk then. So these Mutalists are just basically there to kind of harass the Protoss.
Yep. Just trying to catch Stats off guard here, Because Stats must be thinking, hey, I opened double Stargate. You surely wouldn't go Spire, would you? Regu says, haha. That's exactly why I would.
Alright, these Mutalists will be flying in like a thief in the knife. And this main base, actually, you know what? Not that badly.
He has a cannon and a shield battery, so it's not looking too bad. And of course, now he's pumping out some Phoenixes. 7 probes. I'm not sure whether that's enough for 9 mutas worth of investment,
Well, I mean, so far, he hasn't.
Well, at least they got away.
Yeah,
most of them away.
I was about to say, like, if he lost that, yeah, that's probably not the best trades, but he did manage to retreat with those Mutalists.
Yep, and he's up 50 supply even. And when you have queens backing your mutas, I guess you don't really have to worry about Void Rays or even Phoenixes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if he starts just building Spore Crawlers at the front there. You have the Spore Crawlers, the Queens, and the Mutalists, and then the Hydralisk. I mean, this Void Rays will be donezo in very, very, very quickly.
Yep. Okay, so Queen, Lings, and Hydras. It's a big push coming from there. Oh no, the Disruptors are caught. Will they get their shot off? Yes, some of them do go off, but I think it's still too much. Dong Regu took a big lead after killing Stats third earlier and managed to, pump out way more army supply than Stats could.
Oh man, losing all those Disruptors really, really hurts.
Yeah, I'm not business being so far out, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a very curious decision there. And now he's got a swarm of Zerg units just crashing in here, crushing this dirt base, forcing him to use the shield battery overcharge. Actually, getting some nice shield recharge, but is it enough?
But slow zealots, they aren't gonna do anything, especially when their Banes. Your opponent has Banes, speed Banes, for that matter. This is looking really bad for stats. Ro32 up double his opponent's supply with powerful offensive units such as Hydras, of course, being backed by Queens that can transfuse for days. And GG is called. Ro32 takes it 2-0.
Alright, well done there by DRG. Hope you guys enjoyed that match. This has been an Alpha X Pro Replay Cast. Hope you guys comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.